Okay, so today I am in the studio of 96.7 The Eagle right here on Brendanwood Road because Monday, tomorrow, is Cheap Trick Day. And I thought, who better to talk about Cheap Trick than Rick Nielsen's friend slash, well, you kind of have a man crush on Rick Nielsen, right?
Man crush.
Yeah. You have a Rick Nielsen man crush. So Captain Jack from The Eagle. So we're in the studio.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow's Cheap Trick Day.
Right.
You love Rick Nielsen. Did I mention that already? I wasn't sure, the dynamic. So I thought a good way to celebrate because, Cheap Trick, Rockford, #1 rock station in town.
Right.
I mean, this is a win-win, right?
Pretty much,
So you're a Cheap Trick fan.
Right.
And you have a total man crush on Rick Nielsen.
Man crush, that may be pushing it just a little bit.
Is it really?
Yeah. When I started listening to Cheap Trick for the first time, when I became a fan, I was probably like 6th or 7th grade. So all these years later, fast forward, running a classic rock radio station here in Rockford, getting to know him over the year, getting to know the entire Nielsen family has been fantastic, and he's become a friend. I wouldn't go with man crush, but somebody that I enjoy being with, and someone that, a rock and roll icon, somebody that people look up to around the world, and be able to call him a friend it's a pretty neat thing.
Well, and I was reading some interesting facts on Cheap Trick, and one of the things that Rick said, and I think people from Rockford, really, he's our hometown guy.
Right.
And he said, I could have gone anywhere. I could have moved to Hollywood,
right,
but I stayed here. He said, this is an authentic place. And I think that's important, that people realize
right,
that he chooses to be here.
When they initially got the induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Rolling Stone magazine printed an article where they said, Cheap Trick from Chicago, Illinois. And he quickly corrected that, and everybody has corrected that. He's very much a Rockford person, very much about the city's well-being, helping out the city of Rockford any way you possibly can with an event, showing up to something and just lending a hand or something for a donation or anything like that. He's a person that loves this city, loves everything about Rockford, and he'll do whatever he can. So he is definitely a Rockford guy for sure.
Well, they have an album titled Rockford.
Yeah, it's not called Chicago.
No,
it's called Rockford.
It's called Rockford. I was also looking up some fun stuff that the RACVB has a website called Go Trickford.
Okay.
So if you want to go more information, there's a fan trail. You can follow where they've been in Rockford and
right,
some fun things they've done. There's also all Rick's favorites, which I'm sure you've been to each of them. Maybe with him, holding hands, skipping.
Wow. This is going well. Keep going.
You have a Rick Nielsen tattoo.
I do have a Rick Nielsen tattoo.
You can't make fun of me making fun of you when you're man crush because you have a Rick Nielsen tattoo. So how did that come about?
Yeah, I've been wanting to get a Cheap Trick tattoo for a long time. And like the band itself, like Cheap Trick, I wanted it to be very unique. I wanted it to be something different that nobody else has. So when I got the idea of getting a Cheap Trick tattoo, I texted him and I said, I want to do something, but I want it to be very unique. And he started sending me pictures, text, people with Cheap Trick tattoos from across the world. He's like, here's some examples of what other people have. And they're outrageous.
And you're like, what am I going to do?
Full back pieces, album covers, autographs, cartoon characters. There's everything you could possibly be. There's a guy that has his entire left bicep in the checkerboard that Rick Nielsen is very famous for. I said, I kind of have this idea. When he signs an autograph, he draws a cartoon caricature of himself as part of the autograph.
Okay.
And I said, I would really like you to actually draw that on me, and then I'll get it tattooed. And so we discussed it a little bit. He goes, I have a better idea. Just come over, sit down, let's talk about it. I have something that'll be very unique. So I went over to my man crush's house, and he was actually drawing characters on a piece of paper and sending it to his guitar company. He was getting a new custom guitar made. So he was drawing the logo and scanning it and sending it to his guitar company. So he scanned it and handed me the piece of paper and said, how about these? Which was absolutely perfect. So
that's awesome.
There we go right there. Those are 4. This is the actual page that he sent to the guitar company. That he told them to choose one to put that on the back of his guitar. And I took this paper and took it to my tattoo artist and said, I want one of these.
Okay, well, let's see
So it's very unique. So, go there. And there it is right there.
See?
So.
But he's not your man crush.
Unique. Just like the band. Very unique.
Right. So, Cheap Trick, obviously millions of records.
Yes.
What does Cheap Trick mean to classic rock? I mean, I know it's such a big thing for you, you personally, but for classic rock.
I think, their influence and their inspiration for the classic rock genre is huge, but it goes beyond that. It's any realm, it's any format, it's anything. just a couple weeks ago, Eric Church, who's one of the biggest country artists in the world, played 2 nights at the Allstate. He played a Cheap Trick song each night. Just knowing the location where he was at, it crosses over genres. You know, the younger generation of musicians to the older generations, they're looked at as influences, not only musically but just their style. Because at the time when they came out, and even now, they're very unique. Like I've said, they kind of do their own thing. They play by their own drummer. They kind of do their own style, their look, their style, their music. And it's been, you know, everything from their musicianship, the guitar playing, their songwriting ability, the structure of how they do songs. It transcends, and it started way back when, and even now there's bands, there's artists that come out today that mimic their kind of ideas and their songwriting capabilities, and they're one of those bands that will last forever, and that's proven with their record sales, and still to this day in 2019, touring 150, 200 days a year, and they're playing the huge shows. They're bigger now than they have ever been. The amount of people that come out to see them at live shows is tremendous.
And I saw that Chad Smith from the Red Hot Chili Peppers said Cheap Trick was the soundtrack of his youth.
Yes.
And I think that's true for a lot of us. There's a Cheap Trick song that goes along with some part of our lives.
You know, for being a rock and roll band, they're a fun rock and roll band. You can, young, old, men, women, it doesn't matter. There's always a song, there's always a part of a song that you remember from a specific time in your life. And you don't have to be like I said, you don't have to be a rock fan. Just be a music fan, and they provided just years of great music, yeah.
And they're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yes.
So who else was in their class?
2016 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame class was headlined by Cheap Trick. They were inducted by Kid Rock, did the induction ceremony.
Okay.
It was also Deep Purple, Steve Miller, and NWA that year.
Wow, so
quite the variety.
Quite the variety in the fact that they're our hometown guys.
Yeah, I was able to be there in New York for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame ceremony, and it was there was quite a few people from Rockford that were there that I saw, you know, enjoying the ceremony. But to be there for something like that, where, you know, our hometown heroes get inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and be a part of that whole ceremony was something that I'll never forget. It was a tremendous time.
So were you like this, watching, like, there's my guy,
you know,
there's my friend?
I was in the press room afterwards, so they would get the artists up there. They'd get the induction ceremony, they'd play the video, and at the end they'd play a few songs. So it was one of those moments. There was a little bit of like I guess kind of like a nervous anticipation waiting for them to come into the press room, because it was one of those things that, you know, however you look at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, whether as an artist you take it serious or you don't, this is something that they really wanted, and this is something that they deserved. So to see them walk in and they were just all smiles, and we're very proud to be there, and it was kind of a good feeling, yeah.
Well, and you can go and, like I said, go to gotrickford.com, which I thought was very fascinating.
Right.
There's like the fan trail. You can see all the places that they've gone to. You can see all the Rick's favorite places in Rockford.
Right.
He obviously loves Swedish pancakes, which I saw. Did you ever go with him and have Swedish pancakes?
No, I haven't.
And share a plate?
You've never taken me either. Very much, like I said, Rick is very much a local guy. He's very much a Rockford guy. So a restaurant or a grocery store, or, you know, going out to have a bite to eat with his family and his beautiful wife, they're always here. When they're in town, when he's not on the road, they're always here.
So being that Monday, tomorrow is Cheap Trick Day, do you have any big plans on the Eagle for Cheap Trick Day?
We definitely have things covered. We're the Rockford Cheap Trick radio station, so we'll be highlighting a bunch of their music. Every Christmas, Rick does a Christmas special on the radio station where he takes over the Eagle for 4 hours on Christmas Day. So I think we'll kind of relive some of those moments.
That's awful trusting.
Yeah, well, just to be able to, like, you know, push record and hand him a microphone, give him a piece of paper to read a few things. The ad-libbing is pretty outrageous, and I have some outtakes, so we'll be highlighting those on Cheap Trick Day as well.
Awesome. All right, so thank you very much. If you want to know more information about the Eagle, 967theeagle.net. We'll be right back.
He might not have made it to the final judgment, but he did make it to Hollywood Week. Our own American Idol, Adem Dalipi, joins me after the break to break down his once-in-a-lifetime journey. Are sunny days ahead? Let's find out. Here's a quick check of the weather, and we'll be right back with more Good Day Stateline.